Does it make sense to have an F-35 before the Wright Brothers plane, or a motorcycle before the bicycle, a Tesla before a Model T? Not really. Usually things progress in a certain order, and the same is true for Bitcoin. Today, I'm going through an article by Jesse Meyers, aka Crisis, where he talks about this very thing. Bitcoin was designed. It was not an accident, and it is designed and functioning flawlessly as the best money to ever exist. If you've been on this channel for longer than 20 videos, then you know I'm a big fan of Jesse Meyers. I like his data analytical mind, and so whenever I see an article posted by him, then you know I'm checking it out, and I encourage you to do the same. His Substack is titled Once in a Species, which Bitcoin most certainly is. Gotta do a big shout out here at the beginning because as he starts out his articles with, he encourages you to check him out on Twitter, which you can check him out down in the link below, and you can subscribe to his free email list right here, and I encourage you to do that. Today, his article is titled, Bitcoin is not by accident. When people first hear about Bitcoin, they tend to assume it is a curiosity, an experiment. It feels like it just dropped down out of the blue. At any moment, it could fail because every facet of it was created on a lark, a side project of some anonymous guy calling himself Satoshi Nakamoto. Not exactly an image that inspires confidence. Fortunately, this is not an accurate representation of Bitcoin's genius. Bitcoin was not a random creation. It was the culmination of decades of efforts by freedom-minded technologists, from high-tech Hayekians to the Cypherpunks. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that man's name right. Hayekins? Anyways, continuing. Satoshi brought these building blocks together to create an internet-native, unstoppable money. And here in this infographic, I'm not going to go fully through it, but you can see here in 1974, Surf and Con, a protocol for pocket network communication, TCP. Then down here in 85, we've got elliptic curve cryptography. Up here in 1996, NSA, how to make a mint. In 88, Timothy C. May, the Crypto Anarchist Manifesto. In 1998, you've got BitGold, which had its own parents over here. All the way down in 2001, you've got Bram Cohen, BitTorrent, which led to hash tables, video game currencies, and markets. Then you've got the 2006 Liberty Reserve. And then in 2008, Bitcoin launched. And there's a lot of things that I did not touch on here. This is 40 years of history. I'm going to be skipping a fair bit of this so we can get through this video in a timely method, but he goes through the history, kind of breaks down some of that stuff that I just touched on in that infographic, but then all the way down here, he talks about the Grail quest for internet money. Despite the cypherpunks' notable successes in the crusade to assert human freedoms on the internet, the Holy Grail eluded them. A free market digital currency. Here are some of the notable efforts to create an internet native money. DigiCash, sounds like Digimon. Developed by David Chaum in the 1990s, DigiCash aimed to provide anonymous electronic cash transactions, but failed due to limited adoption by regulatory challenges. Hashcash, created by Adam Back in 1997. Hashcash aimed to combat email spam and denial of service attacks by introducing a proof-of-work system, but it suffered from scalability limitations and lacked a decentralized consensus mechanism. eGold, launched in 1996, eGold allowed users to hold gold-backed digital currency, but it faced legal issues related to money laundering and regulatory compliance. BitGold, proposed by Nick Szabo in 1998. BitGold aimed to create a decentralized digital currency system based on cryptographic proof, but it lacked transaction and never made it out of the idea phase. B-Money, sounds like a bad rapper. Proposed by Wide in 1998, B-Money focused on creating a decentralized digital currency system but lacked a practical implementation. The common thread in each of these failures was that each project relied on centralized authority to create, issue, and manage currency. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what are we constantly telling you here at Simply Bitcoin? You and you alone should be the one that has control over your money. There should be no person or persons anywhere at any time that says, hey, Mr. Joe, Mrs. Jane, your time and energy, which has been abstracted into this thing called money so that you can transact it with other people, is, all of a sudden worth a whole lot less because, I said so. Because, I wanted a new yacht. You know what? It doesn't even matter. I just want more money, and so I'm going to make you poorer. How about that? That should not happen. The people doing the stealing, the people in control, haven't worked even a minuscule fraction compared to the people that they're stealing from. The millions of people around the world, the billions of people around the world, the once upon a time middle class that has been absolutely ground into the dust, so that now they are the lower class, because we don't really have a middle class anymore, because the thieves at the top of the food chain keep on stealing. They steal and they steal and they steal, and they are insatiable vampires that will never stop stealing. Living in a world with monetary thieves is difficult. It is an ongoing challenge that you and I and millions of people around the world are facing on a daily basis. The Bitcoin way can help you avoid many of those perils. They can help you acquire that Bitcoin in a safe and secure way. No matter what your questions are surrounding Bitcoin, from business enterprises to personal endeavors, they will help you. Give them a call, ring them up, and schedule your free 30-minute consultation call today and get whatever questions you have answered. The big takeaway here, before I get back to the article and close things out, is that central authorities are a big problem. Chrissy Lagarde recently at the Jackson Hole Summit said that they had taken everything into account when looking at the monetary situation around the world. Really, Chrissy? Everything? Do you know what I'm going to eat tomorrow for lunch? I don't even know if I'm going to have lunch tomorrow. I don't even know what socks I'm wearing tonight. I might not even wear socks. But you've somehow taken everything into account? Give me a break. The reason that Bitcoin succeeded where prior attempts failed is because Satoshi deliberately designed Bitcoin to solve for the weaknesses of its predecessors while leveraging the strengths of other cypherpunk projects that were successful. PGP, Tor, BitTorrent. Notably, this doesn't even address the specific technological components that Bitcoin relies upon from earlier cypherpunk breakthroughs: private key cryptography, proof of work, peer-to-peer networking, etc. For more on the prehistory of Bitcoin, I highly recommend this 40-minute documentary, Cypherpunk's Write Code. Excellent production value and stylized presentation. I agree, I've seen it. It's from Reason TV, and it is quite good. Overall, I hope this post illuminates what often goes unarticulated about Bitcoin. It does not exist and thrive by accident. It succeeds because of prior decades of work, successes and failures, by technologists aiming to enable human freedoms through open source software development. And then jumping to the very end here, he says, if Bitcoin didn't have what it takes to withstand a world of hackers, opportunists, and controlling governments, it would have died after a year or two and no more than 100 million in value. On the contrary, it has blossomed for 14 years and accrued 500 billion in value, and it is just getting started. We've got Saylor predicting big numbers, 6 digits. We've got people like Cathie Wood predicting 1 million by 2032, Fidelity predicting something the same in those numbers. People that spend their entire lives thinking and learning about money, that is their entire business. That's exactly what Fidelity does. They manage money, are saying that this thing, this Bitcoin thing, is grossly undervalued. It is the base floor of a new way of doing commerce, a new base floor for money globally. And if you can get a piece of that for a few bucks, seems like a good idea, just in case it catches on. And now, if you enjoyed that one, I recommend you check out this one there, where I talk about Bitcoin in India and how a country of something like 1.5 billion people is primed and ready for Bitcoin adoption.